Because then the whole marriage felt like weird. Because there was that scene after they kissed, and she was like, "Yeah, good luck tomorrow," and he couldn't even remember who he was marrying. I was like, "Come on!" Like, at this point, like, why am I supposed to root for that anyway?
That's your sign to not get married.
Like, you should not be getting married if like you can't remember the girl's name. Like,
if someone says congratulations for tomorrow, and you're like, "What?" and it's your wedding day, that's a very bad sign. Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Del.
And this is the Black Catch-Up, where we're catching up on iconic black media we missed out on in our more conservative religious childhood.
Yep. Yep. So today we watched Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar, yes, we did. So, as always, I am DB. Friends in childhood, a magazine editor, and a hip-hop record executive stumble into romantic territory. So, yeah. Welcome back to the show, Tay Diggs, and how do you pronounce her name? It's Sine Lathan. She was in Love and Basketball. Tay Diggs, he's been in a couple of movies that we've seen. Yeah, he was in How Stella Got Her Groove Back.
Yep, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, yep.
I think he was in the Best Man series.
Probably.
Queen Latifah, welcome back to the show, her as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a couple of people. Yeah, Queen Latifah's always welcome. I don't think I've ever had anything bad to say about Queen Latifah in any of our things. Nope. I don't think I have. I've had bad... Well, no, that's not true. One of the bad things was her wig that one time. You remember The Holiday?
Yeah.
Because that wig looked weird. Okay, we're already off topic and we didn't even start anything. But I read the IMDb for Brown Sugar, so what positives do you have? You can go first.
Yeah, I'll kick it off with Queen Latifah, you know? I really loved her character. Like, as the friend, she was just like properly supportive, like good comedic relief, like asking the right questions. One of my favorite scenes was that wedding scene where they were like talking during the wedding and like
I like that
scene
too.
Something or not.
Yeah.
So I just like she's probably my favorite character in the movie.
Yeah.
So, I'll give it off to saying Queen Latifah, you know?
Yeah. I said I like her, and I liked her cousin chemistry with Sydney. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really good. Other things I liked. Speaking of scenes, I liked the New Year's Eve or whatever party scene. I just thought all the moving pieces that were going around with that were really great.
Okay.
Because that was when we had like the conversation where Sydney just got engaged to Kay. What's his name?
Yeah.
I want to say Keeley, but I don't think that's
Clyde?
Right.
It was Clyde or Clede? Kelby, maybe?
Kelby sounds more accurate than Clay. So we're going to say his name is Kelby. And like editing Danielle, put his name here or something. What is his name?
Yeah, I thought I wrote it down too, but I definitely didn't.
I did not. But I just, when she's like getting engaged to him, and then Dre talks to Sydney, and then Sydney's and then Reese is talking to Kelby, and Queen Latifah's talking to that boy whose name I don't know either. What is his name?
Kavi, I think.
Yeah, he's the rapper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they're talking to each other, I just thought the camera work and like the moving pieces, it really felt like we were at a party, and I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. No, I did like that, because I remember that one scene where it was kind of that, I don't know, I thought it was like a pretty cool shot where it had Dre and Sydney in the front talking, and then Reese and Cleby? What are we calling him?
We said Kelby.
Kelby, there it is, yeah.
Yeah.
They had like Reese and Kelby in the background, kind of like doing the same thing. I like that scene and that same like party scene.
Yeah.
So I'm okay.
I liked it.
The next thing I really did like the on-screen chemistry between Dre and Sydney. Yeah, I thought they had a lot of magic on screen. Like,
yeah.
I'll talk more about it in the negatives, but
they felt believable as both friends and as like a romantic relationship. I get that.
They really did. So I thought they had a lot of chemistry and just were very cute to watch on screen.
Yeah. The last thing I had was I wish we Well, I enjoyed the boxing class fight that Reese and Sydney had.
Ooh, yeah.
Where they were like arguing about Dre's dream. And the thing that I didn't like was that we didn't get more of it. I really would have liked more because they volleyed off each other really well. And I think Reese did a good job, at least in the beginning, I'll get into that in the negatives, of being like the bigger person, I guess, in a relationship like that, where her spouse is like essentially emotionally cheating on her. She's still like, I understand your friends, but I wish he would open up to me like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's a really real good conversation. Yeah. I need more of that. Why are we not having more of these conversations? I would love if we did. So I like the boxing scene, but I didn't like that we didn't get more of it, I guess.
Okay, yeah. I guess the last couple things I had are all kind of along the same vein, but I really like the like underlying when I fell in love with hip hop metaphor. You know, and them both just kind of using that metaphor to, I guess, talk about their feelings for each other and also hip hop. Yeah. So I like that metaphor, and I also did like the Kavi character, the underground rapper who eventually ended up being signed.
I don't think there were any characters in the movie that I didn't like. Which is very rare. Because I normally dislike at least most people. But this movie
it usually is like that.
This movie, I didn't dislike anyone like overtly.
Nice. I don't think I did really either.
I made a point to note it because most of the time when you have movies like this, you kind of hate people. But I think I hated the decisions more than the characters, and I still like wanted to root for the characters. So I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I guess the last two scenes I'll call out were two of the Covey scenes, or the Cov, I think, whatever he called himself. But he had that one, his scene in the cab where he like, I don't know, just like shits on Dre's company and leaves his feelings hurt. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I like that too.
And then the scene where he ends up getting Dre to like wash the back of his cab.
Yeah.
I thought that was just another like really great scene. So
that was good.
Yeah, I think those were my last two.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want me to kick off the negatives?
Yeah, you can kick off the negatives.
Okay. So the first thing that I wrote was the timeline for like the first 30 minutes of this movie was so suspicious. That was where we first meet them, which is fine, but then we immediately see Dre get engaged and married and all that other stuff. And it just all happened so fast. I thought that I was like almost done with the movie. Like, not in a way, not because of the time, but because of the plot beats we got. I was like, I saw them get engaged and married, and it was like the kind of speak now or forever hold your peace part. And I was like, is this movie almost over? And I was like, I know I haven't been sitting this long. Like, is this movie almost over? And then I checked and I was like, oh no, we're like 30, 35 minutes in. What is happening? So I would have preferred if they just started this movie with Dre already married.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, I'm
especially
really
because
glad you said that.
Especially because nothing that happened before he got married actually mattered.
Yeah.
Even the kiss with Sydney before he got married, none of it mattered.
No, none of it. But okay, so like that kind of goes into both my 2 points.
Okay.
Or two of my points that I had. One that I think like directly relates to yours is I got a lot of Love and Basketball vibes from this, and maybe it's because it's the same character, but
I said that too!
Yeah. But
I put that in my rating.
This is the other part though.
Yeah.
Love and Basketball, but if it started at the fourth quarter. Like, you know how it's like divided into quarters where like they go through like high school, then like college years, like it felt like you skipped all that and just got to like now they're getting married but like haven't confessed their love for each other. And I'm like, where was the first like 90 minutes where we got that background for us to care about that decision, you know?
I know.
So and so I guess the other point was like it made the like main relationship, I guess you can call it that, between like Reese and Dre and Sydney and Kelby.
Yeah, we said his name was
It made
Kelby.
it made the stakes just not feel like real at all, or like
they didn't.
Like the relationship just felt like strictly as a plot, just so they couldn't be together, you know? Like it.
Yeah,
I couldn't bring myself to care about either of those relationships. It kind of messed up that like will they won't they tension, you know, of the friendship.
Yeah,
so.
I couldn't care either, and I liked Kelby too.
Yeah, no,
again, like
individually,
guy.
I liked all the characters, you know?
Yeah, but like when they were in the relationship, I was like, this is clearly just an obstacle so that they can't be together.
Yeah.
For no reason, too.
Yep.
The point that I had has to do with Reese. And even though I really liked her as a character, I wish that they didn't make her... I think this movie did the awful thing that, like, 2000s and, like, 90s movies did, where they won't let the guy be the problem in rom-coms, it seems. Because the problem with their relationship was that Dre was emotionally cheating on Reese. He, like, real cheated on her, too, in the beginning. But apparently that didn't matter. Because we didn't talk about it till, like, the very end, but... That's neither here nor there. But, like, he emotionally cheated on her the whole time. And you first see it when... Well, you see it the whole time. But the first, like, real big instance is when he quits his job and immediately goes to Sydney. And then he comes home and he tells Reese, oh, yeah, I quit my job and I'm starting a record company. And he's like, why aren't you just supporting me? And she's like... What the fuck? Like, don't you... Yeah. You would talk to your wife about this. Like, why would you not talk to her about this? And he's like, you just need to support me because Sydney supported me. And she's like, well, Sydney actually knows things because you talk to her. Like, why aren't you talking to me? And that should have been the central conflict between Dre and Reese. Making Reese a flirt randomly didn't work for me because they didn't sow the seeds of that anywhere. Like, even in the beginning party, that didn't matter in the end. Because that was where they got engaged. You didn't see her, like, flirtily touching anybody or, like, giggling extra loudly, but, like, still going back home with Dre or anything like that. You didn't see any of that. They just randomly at the boxing class, like, had her flirt with a guy. And then Sydney saw it and was like, by the way, Dre, she's flirty. And he's like, she's friendly. And then she's randomly cheating. And I'm like, no. The problem in the relationship is that Dre... emotionally is essentially cheating on his wife with Sydney this whole time. And it needs to be a thing where that's the conflict. Like, granted, that's the same thing that's happening in Sydney's relationship with Kelby. But, still, the same thing is happening for both of them. And making Reese a flirt just, like, killed it for me. I was like, that's not Reese.
I mean, for me, the whole thing felt like we were watching Dre and Sydney be a couple the whole movie. And again, Dre's just trying to get rid of this, like, side piece kind of thing that also happens to be his whole wife, you know?
Yeah. They wanted to, like, get rid of her, but, like, make her do the dirty work of being bad. When it's like
she had to do something
you could have just divorced her. Yeah. You could have just been like, oh my gosh, I realized I've been, like, such a dick to you by, like, being in love with Sydney this whole time and just, like... settling for you, essentially. Like, why couldn't that be what happened? Because that is what happened. But then they decided to make the whole cheating scene where he, like, is manic in the restaurant. Like, so by the way, I want the most... Like, oh my gosh, no. Yeah. The problem was that you were in love with Sydney this whole time and didn't tell your wife shit.
No, and you knew damn well you shouldn't have married her. Should have canceled the marriage after that kiss. Like, you had ample time to, like, stop this before the ball really got rolling, you know?
Yeah, but then the ball got rolling, and...
And you let it roll.
That was your own fault.
Yeah.
That was your own fault, man. Yeah. So I didn't like it because it came out of such... If they planted the seeds better, I would have been fine with it, but they did not. And also, wouldn't Reese get half of his company too?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, now you're married. Like, now finances are actually intermingled, you know? So, like...
Yeah, even though you got the startup money from Sydney, I'm assuming you still put up some of your joint account money. So when she says, I have to take half of everything you own, that's not just the money in your pocket, man. That's also that company that you, like, quit your real job for and got. That was your big dream this whole time that your wife didn't know about. Like, what?
Yeah.
That was just wild to me.
Their whole relationship felt, like, very forced. Like... It felt like they had to get married just so, like, again, that pressure would be there to, like, oh, we can't, you know? Because, like, otherwise, like, if that's a regular relationship, no marriage, like, he's leaving instantly, and this isn't a movie, you know? So, I guess, like,
if they didn't get married, it would be 30 minutes.
Exactly. Like, they would have, like, had that first kiss, and then, like, it's over, you know? Then they live happily. And honestly, it could be the same movie, because they were doing couple shit anyway, so...
Yeah, they were. Like, even in the first 30 minutes of the movie when they went shopping for furniture or whatever for Sydney's house in the
furniture store, like that.
Yeah,
you do that with your boo. You do that with your husband.
Yeah, you don't do that with your. Or I guess you do that with your best friend, but like, not like that. Not like that.
Yeah, no.
But yeah. Did you have any other negatives?
I had a small one.
Okay.
Every once in a while, I thought the language got kind of weird, like. Listening to, like, Tay Diggs and, I can't remember the girl's name, but listening to them kind of do that, like, I don't know, try to like speak young hip hoppy, like every once in a while it got weird. There was that like gully scene with Kavi that I thought was actually kind of funny, but then like so that scene I didn't have a problem with, but there were other moments where like just like weird like bros were thrown out there or something like that. I don't know. But that's like a minor thing. So
yeah, I guess the only other thing was sometimes the hip hop metaphor was too ham-fisted for me. Like I liked it as a whole, but at certain points I was like, I really want you to just say your real feelings about this guy.
I agree too. I think there was a moment in like, I feel like there was a moment in like the beginning or something where like they laid it on a little too heavy, and I was like, oh, that's what I thought they were talking about, but you didn't have to say it out loud, you know? So I think I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, now we get into ratings.
You want to kick this one off?
Yeah, sure. I gave this a 2.5 out of 5. It was just so middle of the road to me. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I didn't outright hate it. And it didn't give me the warm fuzzies that you kind of want a rom-com to give you. So, yeah. And also, Love and Basketball came out first, and I can tell someone in the writer's room watched that movie a couple of times. Yeah, and some of it seeped in.
But they only remembered the ending of it, apparently.
Yeah.
So.
But, like, Love and Basketball came out 2 years before this movie. I actually looked it up just to put this in my notes. And I was like, whoever... One of you was influenced by the other, like... And as it turns out, Love and Basketball was first, so... Whoever was in the writer's room...
I looked it up, too.
Yeah, they watched Love and Basketball. That might have been their favorite movie. And they were like, we need to bring back the main girl from that and make another movie about hip-hop. I could swear that if I closed my eyes in some scenes, I was like, this is Love and Basketball.
No, it really was. Like, there was a scene, like, they were, like, walking on, like, what looked like some college campus thing, having a talk. And I was like, this is straight out of Love and Basketball. Out of it, you know? But,
I was like, y'all really just watched and lifted the whole movie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But, I gave it a 2.5 as well. For kind of, like, the same reason. Like, it's very middle of the road, and, like, I couldn't get attached to the main couples. And so I think that kind of, like, killed a lot of the tension that should have been there for me. So, that was, like, honestly my biggest flaw. Like, I like the characters as individuals, but, like, again, the relationships were just too, like... forced and
once you coupled them up, it wasn't fun anymore.
Exactly. So 2.5 for this one. Final question.
Do you wish you saw this sooner?
This one's a no for me. It was like regular movie. I will say, had this one come out before Love and Basketball, I would have wished I saw this sooner, but it didn't, and so now I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah. Same. I almost feel as though you could watch either this or Love and Basketball. Like, you don't even need to see both.
No, watch Love and Basketball. Don't watch this. That's what I would say. Don't watch this one. Watch Love and Basketball.
Yeah, I didn't need to see this one. It was just a whatever, fine movie. I think at least in Love and Basketball, we had those, like, active basketball scenes. But on this one, she was writing a book, which isn't as, like, not as, like... dynamic on screen because you're just writing. Whereas when you're like in love with basketball and you're playing basketball, we're like seeing fun basketball scenes. Whereas this one, it's like I'm just watching you write a book.
There was a basketball scene in this one too, and that like huge Love and Basketball flashes. I was like, we're going all the way. We're not even gonna like pretend. You know,
we're not gonna give us a basketball
scene. Might as well. You know?
Yeah.
But okay.
That was Brown Sugar.
Yeah, that was Brown Sugar. YouTube housekeeping, like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any suggestions for movies for us, you can leave them in the comments down below. We do movies on Tuesdays and Fridays. All of our socials will be linked in the description box down below, and we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye. But yeah, I also kind of didn't understand what brown sugar meant.
Brown sugar?
Yeah. He explained it in a scene, and he was like, it's that sweet spot. And I was like, oh my god, that's just misogyny coming up.
Yeah, it was just another word for like, oh, she's wifey type kind of thing. I guess that's what it seemed like. But,
that constant thing that girls have to be, where it's like, you have to be sexy, but not too sexy, or you're a slut. You have to be like this, but not too much, or you're that. That whole thing. That's essentially what brown sugar was. And I kind of wanted a more creative explanation for what brown sugar was. I don't know if that's just me.